There we go.
What up? What up?
What up? Yes. I'm so excited. How are you today, first of all? Let's just start with that. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know, I slept all right. I woke up, took my dog out, did what I had to do, and now I'm here.
I love that. And congratulations on the new song. It just dropped. If you want to elaborate on that real quick, let everybody know about it.
Yeah, for sure. It's called Small Town Bar. It's on all platforms by me, Tanji, featuring Marquiese Da'Quan Mc. That's my boy. We go way back. And actually, a fun fact about the whole thing, it actually was made for Chris Hosier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like when I got the beat, it said, Small Town Bar, need Hosier verse. And I'm glad he didn't use it because I love it. You know what I mean?
Thankful. Yeah, blessings. Definitely. That's awesome. And how was it working on that song with other artists and things? And how was that creative process?
Well, see, me and Marquiese, we've been knowing each other for 17 years, something like that. And
oh, wow.
We've always worked together on everything. And he kind of got into the country rap lane again. He did it with Hosier a couple years ago, and he kind of jumped back into it as a solo artist. And he told me, he showed me like 4 or 5 songs that he sent Hosier for Hosier's album, and then they only ended up using one of them. So then I was like, hey, bro, I need that Small Town Bar. And he was like, you know, it's funny because I keep hearing your voice on it. And I was like, send it over.
It's mine. Give it to me. Yeah, and I definitely want to get into, first of all, I appreciate your time. And thank you so much for working with us.
Hey, I love being on here.
We love it. We love spotlighting independent artists and really giving them that platform. Because I've always thought, you know, mainstream, they definitely... they get a lot of exposure, but there's so many good independent artists that deserve that platform as well. So
I swear, so many of them.
So many. So I definitely want to get into your story. I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but you're from Muncie, Indiana?
Muncie,
Indiana. Oh, look at me. Oh, look.
Yeah, see? Hey, where you at? Where you at?
I live in Roanoke, Virginia.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I'm from Muncie, Indiana. Lived there basically my whole life. I lived in Indianapolis for about 5 or 6 years. Moved back to Muncie, and that's when after we got out of high school, me and Marquiese, we were talking about starting a group up, and I knew this girl, Brianna, who I went to high school with. We started a group, and we went from like 2011 until about 2017, 2018. We stayed together as a group, and through that time, we did so much shit. We rolled with a little posse with us. And we would go to any show we could possibly go to, everywhere, all over the Midwest, Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, Michigan, and we was just down. We was dedicated, and no matter what, we was down to hop in that car and go anywhere. And we ended up meeting. At the time, he ended up managing our group. His name was Marty Tarley. And one of our friends knew him from just like family stuff.
Right.
And he introduced us to him, and he worked at Universal, and he managed like a bunch of their artists, so big artists. But he was down to work with us, and he kind of had his own label that he was trying to grow as well. So he took us in, and, you know, it was weird because back then we didn't have TikTok and all this shit. It wasn't popping like this. So... it was like everywhere we went, we were like brand new to everybody. You know what I mean? And as we kept on going, we just kept on, you know what I mean, making new connections, making more music. Absolutely. And eventually, that landed us on tour with Machine Gun Kelly in 2016 on the Road Surfing Tour.
Yeah, and so I want to get into a little bit of this. I kind of want to rewind just a bit because you've been making music, I apologize, since you were 12 years old. So this is something you definitely grew up. This is what you wanted to do. And I seen some clips on your story of the group that you had prior to everything. And
yeah, for sure.
So I kind of want to dive into how did you guys Well, first of all, I know there was an incident at a bar as well. So could you take us on a storyline of like how the events played out of all of this?
Okay, so well, see, if you go back to that incident that you're speaking on, which is where I got stabbed, I actually ended up getting stabbed 16 times.
Oh my goodness!
I got into a bar fight. Yeah, I got into a bar fight, and I guess I hurt this dude's feelings because 30 minutes later he came back with about 5 or 6 dudes. They jumped me and they stabbed me all up. And luckily, I only got hit once, in my organs. I got hit in the liver one time, and I think that's probably the first one because I feel like I blacked out as soon as like that part started happening. Like once we started getting into it, and but that's what moved me to Florida. So that's what moved me there. That was back in 2020, and I was just in a real bad headspace. I was paranoid as fuck. I didn't want to be around nobody really, and I live in a small town. So I was just like, I wanted to get out. And at the time it was like COVID and everything. So everything was locked down still. And I told my girl, I was like, hey, let's go to Florida. You know, that's the only place in the whole country that's really open. So we went down here, visited for like a week or two, and she liked it. And then I was like, let's go. And we moved like a couple months later.
Did those guys ever get in trouble for what they did, or was it just...
Nah, because I just, you know, at the time it was just like, you know, if anything happens in the future to one of these guys, that's what's going to happen to them. But whenever I was in the hospital and they came in like, hey, I was just like, hey, man, I was drunk. I don't really remember much. And I just left it at that.
Did you ever have a moment in the hospital where you were like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm not going to be able to make music anymore. Like, this is...
Oh, man, it was like, it was really crazy because at the time as well, like, I was really partying hard too at the time. And me and my girl, we was like separating and everything and going this way and I'm going this way. And it was like I kind of actually had like a little flash, like, how blessed I was to have a family and be able to be around my kids every day. And I was taking a lot of shit in life for granted that I wasn't aware of until that happened.
I think that says a lot, you know, not knowing her, but that says a lot about her as well, that she stuck by your side through all those times and was, you know, the person holding it together at home a lot during those times as well. So kudos to her, for real. She's a soldier.
She wrote it out with me the whole time when I was doing the music back in the day with Loose Screws, like. Because when I was on that tour, Machine Gun Kelly, it was a 4-month tour. So I was gone. I was gone 5 or 6 months before I even came home. And, you know, she always took care of my kids and made sure that everything was good. And we always stayed in contact and we stuck it out.
I love that. I love hearing good stories like that. That's awesome to hear, especially in the music industry. And you toured with MGK in 2015. So you guys had kids at this point, correct? Like you were already dad.
I got 4 kids. I had 3 of them.
Same. I got 4 boys.
I had 3 kids at that time, and then in 2020, I had my fourth kid, my son, my young son.
I think everybody had their youngest in 2020. What is going on?
Hey, we was all locked down.
You know. So I do want to touch base. So how did you... I know you said that you'd ran into some people, made some networking connections. That's kind of how you got into all the tourings and things. So how exactly were you offered to do MGK's tour? How did that come about?
Man, it was crazy because, like I said, we were at the time, we were doing shows all over the Midwest on our own, like without no management or anything. I mean, we were even doing a show. There was a show in Indianapolis we would do every Friday because we actually opened up for Twista one time. And, and this dude that was there, he also opened up, but he was like, hey, I'm really on the promoting side. Like, I do music, but I really focused on the promoting side. And his name was Big J, rest in peace, because he passed away as well. But we ended up doing this show called Food Stamp Friday. It was in this like fucking redneck ass like little ghetto part of Indianapolis. And basically, if you had a food stamp card, you could get it for free instead of paying the door.
Oh my goodness! But that's genius. If you think about it, you know, like, hey, I know life's hard. Just Come on, get in for free.
No, I hear you, but I ain't never that the concept. I had never heard of anything
No,
like that.
I've never heard of that either. That's shocking, but I love it already.
So we was doing because that was kind of our crowd. You know what I mean? Like we were accepted anywhere. Like we could go into the nicest part, into the hood, into the white trash area. Like we had a good crew around us where it was a mixture of everybody. And we all kind of was really partiers. Like as far as like we was the ones like we're out drinking everybody at the party. You know what I mean? We're getting everybody to do beer bongs, take shots, and you know what I mean? We was keeping the party going. So everybody kind of respected us on that level as well. Like we even did something with the Bad Girls Club one time, and that was in Muncie, Indiana.
I used to love that show.
Yeah, I swear it was a co.
Definitely my kind of party.
It was like a we both was like someone paid us to be there and they paid them to be there. You know what I mean? Like we performed and then they did like they just were there to hang out and like do a meet and greet type thing. But we actually I think there's a video out there where we're all on stage together doing one of our songs and all the girls are behind us. But yeah, that was cool. That. So basically we're doing all this and our manager calls us and he goes, "Can you get to New York?" And we I'm not gonna get all the way into it, but we basically had a competition we were in, and it was in New York. And I don't know if you're familiar with who Curtis Blow is, but he's like an OG, old school rapper, but a New York rapper. He was putting on this competition. Well, he had family that's from where we're from, so he was like, "Hey, I'll get you guys there.
Yeah.
But if I can get you a deal, like I want to be a part of it." And we kind of like we had to do what we had to do to get there, so we agreed to it. And then when we got there, our manager, who we were supposed to meet, Maurice, he was there like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna put you guys up in a nice ass hotel. You guys are gonna be here for a couple of weeks, and I'll fly you back when you need to." And we stayed there. We recorded. We met with a couple labels, and then we didn't even end up going home. We ended up going out to California. And then while we were out in California, we met with some more labels, and we end up meeting this guy at a restaurant who was coming out with a vape company called Breathe. And,
okay.
So basically our manager knew the guy and was like, "Hey, would you be willing to sponsor them to put them on tour and we'll promote Breathe at all the shows?" So he agreed to do it. And then one of the guys, the booking agents that they had, there was like 3 people that that our manager had connections with that had connections to other artists. And one of the artists was Waka Flocka and MGK, and I forget who the other artist was. But at the end of the day, MGK made the most sense because we were kind of like that grungy, hip hop, rock, like all that, blended. That's what my group was.
MGK, first of all, congratulations on that. I love that.
Right.
Second of all, I agree with you because MGK at that time in 2015, that's when he was Wild Boy. I mean, like the things that the way that you guys were partying and just the personalities, it definitely sounds like MGK would have been a better fit for that.
Exactly. And he was cool. Like the first day we met him was at House of Blues in Los Angeles. Literally, I walked up to him like, "Hey man, I've been a fan of yours. It's nice to meet you, and we're happy to be on tour with you." He was like, "Y'all want a picture?" We took a picture. He was smoking a joint. He passed it to me. You know what I mean? We just kind of chatted for just a little bit, and then we didn't see him like except for when we were opening up on those different days. And then there was a couple other times where we had like interactions like outside his bus and shit. We chilled with him. We chilled with a lot of the people in his band more than we chilled with him. But he was overall though, it was a welcoming and it was a big experience as far as like what to expect from ourselves when performing, because people don't realize like MGK is a performer. Like that dude, like he puts on a good ass show. He ain't just like holding the mic and standing there.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. We're going to see MGK in June, and I can't wait for the Lost Americana. But he always puts on a good show. When you guys you guys had interactions and stuff, did you ever take anything that he said or feedback, and do you still apply that to this day?
Yeah, I mean, his thing was kind of just like, don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, and we already was thinking the same thing, you know. But but yeah, he was definitely. I think it was more just being around him. Like, they say like you got to rub shoulders with the people. Like wherever you want to be, start hanging out with people like that. And it's like just being around that and just watching it night after night after night. Like we started picking up shit and like that he was doing, and we started adding them to our sets, and we started realizing, okay, people like interact to this, and then
Yeah.
even like I know we caught their eye a couple times too. Like we had a couple big shows that were like a lot of people showed up for us, and like I saw them come out to the side, like him and his people, and so I know he showed respect, and I know that he respected our hustle as well.
Absolutely. I love that. Like I said, congratulations. That's amazing. I also want to touch on some other things because you've done a lot more than your own music, which is fabulous. You're coming out with the solo now,
Right.
and touring with MGK. You've actually collaborated with Grammy-winning producers. You even worked with will.i.am, the Black Eyed Peas. I mean, you've had your hand in
Yeah.
music for a while, so I definitely want to touch on that and just let you kind of have the room to share that.
Yeah, that was see the will.i.am and Black Eyed Peas thing was cool, but it was like this and this because for one, just like getting invited in there and going in there, and you could just tell the presence was like expectation is at another level because like I wouldn't say like I was a huge Black Eyed Peas fan or anything like that, but
I
but but
was.
but what it was the group, our group, how we looked. Like it was me, Marquiese, and Brianna. So we got the white girl, we got the mixed dude, and we got me, and we both had dreads at the time too. So we had a different look, and I just think that look because we would get compared to Black Eyed Peas, and I'm like, I don't see it because like our music was like I said, like a little more grungy rock, hip hop, and and to me they're like straight pop. But that's kind of what our manager was like. Listen, if we could just push you guys to do some poppy stuff, then whenever we get the deal, you can do whatever you want. And
Yeah.
I mean, we was going along with it, but I didn't always love it because sometimes I felt like what I mean, they was trying to mold us into something that we wasn't, and then it was like taking us down a different path.
Well, and I think that's what a lot of people don't see on the independent music side. And I didn't really notice it. I mean, I noticed it, but I didn't notice it as much until I started doing these platforms.
Right.
That's the typical thing. They hear you, they hear a sound, they view an image in their head, and then now you have to manipulate what's in their head instead of you just.
Exactly.
And it takes a lot of creative freedom away from the independent artists.
Exactly.
And that's your
And
craft.
yeah, exactly. And then the other thing though was like we were like our management team was really good, man, and they took care of us. They took care of us a lot, and they paid for everything. They flew us all over the place, and they got us in a lot of rooms that we probably wouldn't have been able to get into without them. And but at the same time, like we weren't allowed to release music. We were, we would go like a whole year and only have 2 songs out, and it's because they were trying to pitch us to these labels and say, okay, here we already have an album ready as well. So like they didn't want us to release any music. So it was a lot of stuff that I didn't like about it. And like I said, at the time, TikTok wasn't a thing like that because if it was, like
Yeah.
we would have been able to do it on our own just with TikTok if that was the tool back then. But we didn't have that, and it was a lot different. So we kind of had to play by the rules. But at the end of the day, and then my group ended up splitting up in 2017. And if you look at any group, I don't care what genre it is, most of them all split up. And it's because when
Yeah.
you start dealing with different people, everyone's got different intentions, different personalities, different goals in life. You know what I mean? Especially like when you got kids and shit.
Well, life changes you too, and that's one
Exactly.
thing that I've always stood by is artists are supposed to grow. If
Right.
they're not growing, then their music, they're not growing as a person. If you don't hear their music changing, if you don't, and it doesn't necessarily have to be genres, but even if they do, it is what it is. That's part of growth, and if you're not growing and your music's not changing, it's going to reflect it. So
Exactly.
I'm wholeheartedly for do any genre you want, and just be who you are and be authentic, because that's what's gonna keep your fans there at the end of the day.
Exactly. And you know, like for me, it's like I always been like a witty punchline rapper, and I could freestyle and do all that shit. And that's kind of like how I got noticed on my own, like when I was younger and just around my town. And but then like once it was crazy because it was like after I got stabbed, a lot of shit in my mind just changed, and it's like I didn't want to rap as much like how I was, because I wanted to say stuff that was meaningful. And sometimes like I would just like, sometimes I'd just be rapping like, you know what I mean? I'd just be trying to rhyme any word, and I'm just going almost like a Lil Wayne flow, you know? And it's more about the punchline and not really about giving you a message. So then like I started wanting to have more meaning behind my music. And when I moved down here, I started listening to I started listening to country music a lot, and I started listening to older music a lot, and I kind of stepped away from like what music is coming out right now, and then it really helped me get into more of a storytelling mode, and that's kind of where my music comes from right now. Everything that I put in these songs are 100% true. It's not like, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about anything I haven't done or that I'm not doing right now.
Yeah, no, I did some research last night. I know it's an older song, but our song, I was like, man, if that don't sound like every single relationship, you know, when you go through your rough spell at least, or, you know, it doesn't matter. You've had that relationship, whether you have it or not now with somebody is completely different, but you've had it at some point, because there's moments that you would rather just, you know, be like, you know what, I'm done.
Exactly. And that's what I was telling you, like when I said like my girl stuck it out with me the whole time, you know what I mean? That's like our song, like what I'm writing about my relationship, you know what I mean? Personally. And how that came about literally was like we was just cruising down the road and that fucking Taylor Swift song came on, our song, and I was like, what? I said, this ain't real though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This ain't real porch swing love life, you know what I mean? And,
we're all adults.
Exactly. So
no shade to Taylor, but you know.
No, I'm not shitting on her. I'm not shitting on her. I'm just saying, like, I wanted to tell like a different side of that. So that's what I did, and I just literally did it exactly how my relationship, you know what I mean? I did it just based off my relationship. It came real easy. The hook took me like 20 minutes to write, but the verses were like 10 minutes. And even like, I think on the second verse, I didn't even write it. I just literally put my microphone up, hit record, and I kind of just like freestyled like a few bars and then stopped and then went back and then did it again and then did it again until it was done.
I love that. I love how, and that's the thing is, that's, you know, goes back to like when you're an independent artist and you have that creative freedom, you can write that song when you want, release it when you want, things like that. So it's real important. And I always try to, if I can put any advice out there, I always tell people, you know, hold the rights to your songs. Hold the rights to your songs. Have control of your music. At the end of the day, that is your craft. That is your talent. Don't let go of that for anybody.
Exactly. So, because it's like when you look at people, like even when you look at Honest Abe, you know what I mean? Like he got popping on TikTok, right? On his own. So it's like when a label comes to him or somebody with money comes to him, he doesn't have to like bend over and do everything they say because he's already doing it on his own. So they still want to make their money, but by him, you know, wanting to say, I want to keep rights to all my stuff. Sometimes when you got it like how he did and he blew up on his own, like on TikTok, the label still wants to be a part of your plan because they know you're going to make money no matter what. They want to get a piece of it.
Yeah, I guess there's always two sides to it because there are labels that independent artists can go through that, you know, they're not going to have that experience. So it's definitely just reading the room, understanding what you're going through and processing it that way. And you now have the solo music coming out, written, recorded, and working on the guitar release for the tracks. But you have Small Town Bar, Lord Knows, and Sober. You're going to be blending the country storytelling with witty rap lyrics. Can you tell us about this little venture that you're about to take on?
Yeah. Because I was thinking about doing like an album, but I'm like, I don't want to do an album because I don't want to spend, a couple months. I want to be continuously putting out music. Like I just put out Small Town Bar. I got another song called Best Life that's getting ready to come out. I'm just waiting on to get everything back from my engineer for the mix and mastering. But and then I want to go. I got another song that I already have recorded. I need to touch up some parts just to make it more clean. It's called Last Ride, and it goes back to that relationship, saying like basically like when you're in the car with your partner and you're like, I don't want this to be the last ride. Like you guys are fighting, you're going through it, and it's like to the point where you almost feel like you can't stand to be in the car with each other, but you're gonna stick it out. You know what I mean?
And have that anger love.
Exactly. That's what my youngest son, he'll even say, because on the one song I say, I can't remember what the exact words, but I say we fucking, then we fight, then we blow up like dynamite. It's on our songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. My youngest son though, he'll just come through rapping some of my shit sometimes, and he'll be like, we fucking and we fight and then we blow up.
Does that ever catch you off guard where you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I can say that.
I laugh at it. His mom is like, cut it out.
Oh yeah, she's like, you're gonna have to change the lyrics, sir.
Yeah, but so I'm also working on the guitar as well. That's something I'm gonna start putting on here a little bit more soon. I want to at least be able to, play it just a little bit and show the growth with that. And then eventually I want to be able to do some songs where it's me playing the guitar and me with my voice over it and just have straight acoustic.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that as well. But right now, I wanted to make sure I pushed out this Small Town Bar because, like I said, it's something that me and Marquiese have been needing to do anyways, because right before I got stabbed back in 2020, we actually had an EP written and recorded and everything ready to put out. And then I had got stabbed. And then me and him kind of we didn't talk for a while. And like I said, I was in a weird place mentally because he was also there with me that night that I got stabbed.
Yeah.
So I just had this weird thing in my mind. And it wasn't nobody's fault but me to get myself in that situation. But I just felt weird about anybody's face that I saw that was there that night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was weird, man. It was just something that's what they say, PTSD. It was just something I couldn't control. I just had a paranoia about being around anybody.
When you were growing up, were you ever around music as far as family and people?
Yeah,
did you ever have
sure.
somebody that made you be like, hey, I like that. That's why I want to do this.
Yeah, so my dad was a karaoke guy. And then he always took me around his friends growing up because I lived with my mom and I would go to my dad's on the weekend. And my dad would take me around his friends and some of them were in bands and shit. And he had another friend, his name I think was Brian Bell. And in our town though, he was a big singer. He would get booked. He was the wedding singer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that with his little gig. Yeah, I love it.
He would get booked for all that kind of shit. But it was still though just to be around that. And then I remember even I started getting into rap music and shit when I was probably in 3rd and 4th grade.
Who did you used to listen to? Who was your favorite rapper to listen to?
I listened to a lot. It was crazy because I listened to No Limit. So that was Master P, Silk the Shocker.
Make him say,
Yeah, Mystical.
Yeah.
I had all those albums. I had the Get Rich or Die Trying album, the Eminem albums. Obviously, when I was growing up younger, my mom would play Tupac, Biggie. She would play but she would switch it up. She would also play Tim McGraw. She would play Pink.
I think everybody's mom listened to Tim McGraw at that time.
Exactly. So I was around music a lot, and it always was something I wanted to do. I remember being in, I said, in 5th grade, and I had a little tape recorder, and I would go on LimeWire and download beats, and I would just play the beat out of the speaker and then record myself on the tape recorder, to raps I wrote. And this is, like I said, in 5th grade. So I've been doing that for a while. And that's what I always wanted to do. And it's crazy because at some point, though, like I said, after I got stabbed, I got into a point where it's man, I got to keep writing music because I need to get this shit out of my head. But I
Yeah.
almost like was like, I don't want to perform. I don't want to do anything like that. And then I started thinking like, man, if I could be a songwriter, I would love to do that. But then like once I got out of that mindset, I'm like, no, that ain't me. I like to do this shit. You know
So
what I mean?
what kind of I guess made that switch flip to be like, you know what? No, I'm not going to be behind the scenes. I'm going to go in front. I know that I've had this interaction where I've been stabbed,
Yeah.
and there's lots of thoughts and feelings and emotions in those times. So what was it like the turning point that was like, you know what? No, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go forward.
It was really like, man, I just knew like God had my back, and God got me through that. I was pulled out of there. Like they even said, like had I got there a few minutes later, there was no way I would still be alive because I had lost so much blood. And I made it through there. And then not only did I make it through there, like I didn't get hooked on pain pills afterwards. And because some people when they go through something like that, they get prescribed pain pills, then they're hooked on them forever. You know what I mean? I didn't get in that position. I still move around. I'm stiff and I hurt, but I don't like lay around. Like I'm active. I'm out and about. And I think like whenever I realized in my brain, like God got me through that, like whenever my time is going to be, it's going to be. And whenever anybody's time is going to be, it's going to be.
Amen.
So it's nothing you can do to stop that. So it's like that part of the paranoia part kind of got away from me. You know what I mean? Being like, because it was more like I don't want to be around people type shit.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that took a lot of strength and courage because, I would imagine going through all that and then just coming out, the whole process mentally is probably just insane. And I bet Florida kind of probably felt like the fresh air that you needed and so it gave you that revamp a little bit.
It did. And where I'm at down here, I'm in Cape Coral, Florida, and down here it's like a large part of retirement people. So you also get like right now is busy and packed everywhere. But in the summertime, after spring, right after spring, like shit starts dying down around here because a lot of people leave and they go up north. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So do you have like
it's peaceful?
Do you have any shows or anything coming up?
No, not right now. No, I ain't got no shows right now. I was working on some shows down here, and I've done a couple down here. But it's like right now, I just want to focus on getting more music out because I think like I was looking at my Spotify today. I think I got like 9 or 10 songs. Like I really want to get that catalog up a lot more because I had a lot more on my own. I had like 20 other songs on there, but I took them all down because it was kind of like I wanted to go for a different. I wanted to change the whole music style up, and I wanted to kind of go in a different direction. And I didn't want people to hear this music that doesn't sound like this music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was I was doing all the research. I was looking up, and I was like, I don't think I could find anything before 2018 or 2019. Yeah. And I'm
exactly.
like,
right.
And then I was like trying to dig for like just to see if I could find clips of you guys when you were on tour in 2015 and just things like that. And I was able to see some things you had posted in your stories with the group that you originally were with.
I posted those for you.
Did you? Oh my goodness. I love it. You're going to have to send me some so we can insert them here and we can let everybody see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that your story is incredible. It's not just about like being that comeback kid in a way. It's also just inspiring and empowering that even though you did go through these things, you were able to come out on the other side. And I think a lot of people get lost on that side and they don't come back from that. Did you ever have like any addictions or anything that you had to fight through?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go deep into it, but like when I said I was partying, and I'll just leave it at that. And it was like, I always had partied as far as just drinking and smoking, but I started doing some other things, and for a couple of years, it was like 3 years straight, all the time, you know what I mean, and after I got stabbed is like really when it ended because on that same night, it was like that's what I was doing, and that's kind of what had me on that. I just say I couldn't feel my face. You know what I mean?
And when they say when you go through things like that, it changes your whole mindset. So, I mean, kudos to you for coming out on the other side, and being able to be the dad and the husband off camera and the artist on camera like that. Do you ever sit there and like, how am I going to balance this today? Do you ever have those moments still?
For sure, I do. But I think just like moving away and getting more comfortable with my relationship as well, because like back then it was like, I honestly, man, and this sounds bad of me, you know what I mean, as a person, because I was just like, I just was like selfish, you know what I mean? But I felt like I had to be selfish to get where I wanted to get. You know what I mean?
You have to sometimes, yeah.
And in my mind, it was like, I might be tearing this down, but this is going to go up so high that I'll be able to bring them up with me eventually. You know what I mean? But to me nowadays, like, I don't think like that no more. I look at like, especially like when I started, I think when I started growing my TikTok account, I did an open verse when Jelly Roll did The Son of a Sinner.
I remember that. Yeah. It sparked all the open verses in the world.
So like I did the open verse to that, and you know, and my page grew like 3,800 people over 2 days. You know what I mean? Started following me, and Jelly even liked it and stuff. But what made me change was actually not made me change, but it also opened my eyes. Like when I see like Jelly Roll and Bunny and them. Like, you know, that's a couple that they're out and about together, you know what I mean? And they do a lot of stuff together. And it's like, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're good. Okay. There you go.
Yeah. And when I started seeing that too, it's like that was kind of like powerful to me, because it gives you like some kind of motivation. Like, you know, I want to get it going. I want to get it going to where I got my music going so good that I can take my girl and my kids with me to my show. You know what I mean?
Amen.
They can roll with me, and they can be a part of this journey with me.
I love that. And you have a lot. You're all over social media. Just sort of throw that out real quick. You're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram or TikTok. I don't know if I'm forgetting any other platforms.
No, that's it.
And as far as music, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, everywhere you guys can find him. I guess I'm just going to give you a couple more questions here, and if there's anything you want to share with us.
Well, real quick, I want to get into I just want to get into how we you know, when we did this song Small Town Bar, you know, we put it out, and we're talking about doing a video for it as well. But I want anybody out there, go check it out, go add it to your playlist. It's definitely one of them songs, like it's like a summertime, you know, springtime, summertime, anytime. It's a banger, and it's basically about, you know, when you're traveling, it's like, that's what we was talking about when we were talking about doing the song. Like when he sent it to me, he was like, yeah, I just was thinking about you being on it because we traveled so much together. And he was like, so you know that life. And it's just about, you know what I mean, being in these random towns where you go into these bars and you meet people and you shut it down, and you end up, you know, maybe you end up at their place, maybe you end up at somebody else's place, you know. It's about just being out there and then running into those people who are the small town people. You know, like I start off the song saying she's a small town girl, but she's at it again, finding love in the bar, then she's gone with the wind. Because it's like maybe you come in there and you find her, maybe she's got a family, maybe she's got a husband, maybe she's just showing you some love because you're something new. And it's a fun song, you know what I mean? But I really think it's one of those songs that you can play anytime.
Oh, absolutely. And I've added it to our Raw and Rising playlist over on YouTube and on Spotify, so you can definitely check it out there. Make sure you guys definitely go support Tanji. I thank you 100% for coming on and doing everything. I do want to ask you, who was your biggest music inspiration?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy because when I tell you, like, whenever I was growing up, I always used to say, like, okay, so whenever I was growing up, obviously, like, I was listening to Eminem, you know, 50 Cent, like I said, Master P, all those. But it was like, I listened to 3 6 Mafia a lot.
Loved 3 6.
Oh my gosh. And I used to always say, like, I was like, I love I love Juicy J, and that was like that kind of put me into. Now this is going back, like I said, going back to when I was like, I want to say like 2009 to 2015. Like I was just on that trippy house party, wild music, and it was like that was the inspiration was all coming from there. But overall, I would say like Lil Wayne was probably my favorite artist of all time. You know it.
Love Lil Wayne. Were you
Yeah,
excited about his new album though, or how did you feel about that one?
yeah, I mean, it's different. I mean, I still listen. When I listen to Lil Wayne, I still listen to No Ceilings. I still listen to Sorry for the Wait. You know what I mean?
Mr.
I still listen to
Officer.
Carter 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I get it. And that's the thing, because that was in my prime party era too. It was 2009 to 2015. So we
Exactly.
definitely had like, you had your Waka, you had everything. It was all mixed. You had Little
Exactly.
White. You had all these different
Oh yeah,
types
hey, and
of
I didn't
rap.
mention because I didn't even mention I opened up for Lil White
I
a
love
bunch of
him.
times, and what's crazy was this was before Jelly Roll was like known. This was when he was like a rapper, and he actually was at one of the shows. I don't think he performed that night, but he was with Lil White, and at the time though I didn't even know who he was. I had just heard people in Indianapolis talk about 3-6 Mafia working with this guy Jelly Roll, and I had never even heard of him at all. Never knew anything about him, but I remember seeing him. And but Lil White at the time, because that was like everybody where I'm from. We was like drinking Crown Royal and listening to Lil White. You know what I mean, all the time.
Love Lil Wayne. I met him in Nashville, and
Yeah. He
he's
used to come.
dope.
Right. Yeah, he used to come to Muncie all the time. That's where we're from, Muncie, Indiana, and do shows. And Project Pat used to come as well, and they was always cool as hell because they would come, they would drink with you, and they'd be right there with you.
Yeah, I didn't get that side of Little White, but because I met him this year. What's up, Najee? Najee Concept Raps is an artist out of Virginia. He does music as well. We're here with Tanji. He just released his new song, Small Town Bar. You can check it out anywhere. But yeah, I didn't get that experience with him. He's sober now. So
Okay. Right.
but it was awesome just to interact with him. That's the thing. What I've learned is sometimes when you meet people in this industry, you're not gonna get the same energy that you get on their online persona right. But I can honestly say like Little White is one of those people. He's the same person. Literally the same person.
Even when I was on tour with MGK, I mean, not to say he wasn't like himself, but there were times where he was like, come right up to us, talk to us, chill for a second, give us a couple minutes every time. And then there was other times he'd just walk right by, you know what I mean? But that's not to say like he's headlining the tour. He's doing a lot more. They did a lot more shows than we did too, because we actually took off 6 weeks while they went up to Canada. So it's like I can understand that from that point of view. But I do know what you mean. Like when you see some people on, like I've heard it many times. They're like, you know what I mean? I met so and so, and they was just a dick. You know what I mean? Like,
so the number one rule I kept hearing was you don't want to meet your so and so. Don't meet your so and so. Leave it alone.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I feel like hold on one moment. My son just walked in.
Right. Yeah, we here, baby. Make sure you go check out Tanji Small Town Bar on all platforms. Add it to the playlist. We'll let Marquiese know. We gotta put that video out soon.
Or we can take shots until our clothes hit the
Glad I
door.
came on here. Live and Vibe, baby. Tanji on the Live and Vibe show.
And if you're looking for me, I'll be at the bar.
Sorry, I have to manage in between, but I'm so happy you came on.
I understand it, man. Life is life, and we got families, so I understand it 100%.
Yeah, no, they don't realize it because it's just mom in the room, you know. They're like, it's just mom up there, you know. But yeah, make sure you guys are going and checking out Small Town Bar. shout out to you guys both, you and Marquiese, for that. The song is incredible. If you guys have not added it to a playlist, if you have not watched it on YouTube, there is the visual lyric video up right now, I believe. So they're working on that video. So I can't wait to see it. We're gonna have to react to it.
Exactly, and I'm gonna hook you and Marquiese up too, because he's got some new music out, and you'll love to talk to him as well.
I would love that.
He's a chill dude, just like me. But yeah, make sure y'all go get Small Town Bar, and thank you for having me on the show. Hey,
you're welcome. We did it.
Hey, make sure. Hey, I want to see a reaction though to the song.
I will definitely give you a reaction. I might wait for the full video first.
I want to put it. I'm gonna put it on my. I'll save it and put it on my YouTube Shorts as well, and on my TikTok.
All right, bet. I gotta work my 9 to 5 today, but I got you.
Hey, no, take your time. Take your time. Hey, masterpieces take time. That's what I've been told.
That's right. Shout out to Nicole real quick. She is from New York. She's one of the hype girls for the Live and Vibe. We have Sunday, Nicole, and
What's
Hillary.
Up, Nicole?
She said yes, can't wait for that. Oh, so excited. Hey. Yeah. So I just want to thank you for your time. Thank you to everybody for coming in, listening, and for watching. And with that, peace out.
I appreciate y'all, man.
See you later.
And if you're looking for me, I'll be at the bar in a small town. Looking for me, I'll be at the bar in a small town. I'm like a boxer when we drinking going round. Spending my nights on these lonely roads. These small town bars are all I know. Your love's on my mind, but I ain't gonna be here for a long time. But I got a thing for the girls at the small town bars. I always think that it's love, I don't get that far. I just order more rounds, then you take them all down just to turn me down. I'm trying to tell you I got big dreams in a small town. She's a small town girl and she's at it again. Finding love in the bar, then she's gone with the wind. But I know she gon' be at our honey hole, where that whiskey can flow when her heart's cold. Cause you know, baby, I can get your mind right. Just like a bonfire, girl, you light up my night. That watermelon sugar got me on a high. Don't wanna come and go, but I gotta say goodbye. Cause I gotta roll, but I can have one more. Or we can take shots until our clothes hit the floor. Yeah, I'm down for whatever, baby. Yeah, I'm down to be yours. And if you're looking for me, I'll be at the bar in a small town.